Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans. Discussing football, basketball, news, trending topics. The one-stop shop for all things sports. Voice of the Fans Sportscast. Hosted by none other than Ben Swift Reynolds, Taylor Gatwood, 100% RC, Professor Damian Flowers, and Tyler Wright.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voice of Fan Sportscast. I'm your host. You already know, Ben Swift Reynolds. We have Sound Crow with us on a Tuesday night. We here and we live. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Happy Tuesday. It's a good night for some sports talk. Let's get it. Yeah.
Man, tell me about it. Great night for sports talk. You know, ever since the NFL preseason been ramping up, headline after headline, story after story.
Yep.
So, man, that's why I love NFL season. It keeps us entertained.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's hard. There's always something happening. That's one of my favorites because every time there's always something in the news. So it never slows down.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, I was out in Macomb today and had no service. So I couldn't check any sports update. I couldn't check any what was going on with the school, with the baseball or anything like that. So I was miserable. Kind of like, what's going on? Like, who's saying something? I usually check Twitter or Instagram to get some more news, some more sports news feed.
But you feel like you're lost, you feel like you're left out. And then of course I get scared because I follow some people like there's these, this is real NFL news. I'm like, there's these fake ones, and I'm like, what? Who got traded where? That's not right. No. Wait a minute.
Watch out for that fake news, man. They'll get you.
Like, no. Twitter. Yeah, like no, pitch to the Patriots for the Falcons. No, that's not right. No. I don't think so.
They be lining their bus off. They be lining their bus off on Twitter. So you gotta watch them.
Oh yeah, people buy it though. That's the problem. That's what keeps them going. I'm like, if we just stop buying into that rubbish, they probably would give them nothing to do, but people fall for it. So I mean, I don't know.
Tell me about it. All right, man. We're gonna dive. Man, first we're gonna go into some basketball, then we're going to some football.
Okay.
Let's bring on fast break. All right, so the WNBA is back in the headlines.
Of course.
Go figure, right?
Why not? Yeah.
So apparently this the owners or association sent the WNBA players they sent them a pretty much a base salary or increase, and the WNBA players rejected it, of course. Importantly, the offer was a minimum pay of $66,000 to $250,000. And one of the players said, we got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face.
Yeah, I mean, here the thing is, I know we talked this before too about WNBA, NBA. It's hard to mix apples and oranges, but that being said, the number of interest that and again, I'm not a huge. I do follow a little bit, but obviously I'm not a huge WNBA fan. However, it does seem to be a crowd pleaser, draws people in, and you think about it too. I mean, yes, obviously it's a women's sport. It's they say women and men are different, physicality. I get all that stuff, but when you look at a pay scale, and especially for sports, what we have in America, for a model of what athletes make, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever. I think it's got to be at least. Now, I will say this just before I say this. I'm a big fan of. I think a lot of athletes do get overpaid. Obviously, a lot of money goes for that. And again, it's nothing against players. It's just I think with the economy what it is today and everything, I think there's a little bit of excessive spending there. But aside from that, if we're talking equal pay there, these women who are professional athletes putting in the same time as the guys do in the NBA, they're getting injured, they're putting their bodies out there, there's a lot of similarities between the two leagues. I think the pay scale should be equal pay, should be fair, fair enough to where they feel treated equally in that regard. Whether we feel the comparisons are relevant or not. And I agree with the ladies. I think that if that's the lowest, that's the minimum pay scale. I think that is a bit of a slap in the face, just because you're saying, what am I worth then? We'd all ask that question, right? What are we worth? Mm-hmm. If we're putting ourselves out there, I mean, again, they probably get endorsement deals and stuff too. But I mean, aside from that, a base salary, that's like, I mean, gosh, that's not even bench warmer material. So if the lowest is $60-some thousand, that's essentially nothing. So, I really think that it could be worked out. I don't think it should be overpaid, but I think they got to come up. The league should come up with a little bit more of a realistic number, I think, just to be fair.
What will be a fair number in your opinion? What would be the minimum pay and what would be the max?
Well, let's see. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to think like what the NBA has, because I know they changed theirs over the years. I think the model should be the same, but let's say a base salary, and let's say maybe not even starters. Maybe we talk about like bench warmers, like someone who's gonna ride the bench. What I think the average is, I'm just spitballing, but let's say 100 to 200,000 is a minimum for a bench warmer. I think that's about what the NBA has around, if I'm not mistaken. I could be off by a couple of years, but and again, depending on the player. I mean, if you're a Caitlin Clark type who's rocking the league, or Sophie Cunningham who's becoming faces of the league kind of stuff, maybe you command more. But again, also depends on what. I also say I think the NBA and other professional sports should do this as well collectively. Depending on the athlete, what level they're at, if they're getting a good endorsement deal, that should have some impact on their salary, because if they're going to get incentives elsewhere, they don't need to be taking a huge salary from their team. It would help the teams out, obviously, for salary cap fixes too. So, again, if it's a long-term deal, obviously it's going to be in the millions, got to be. But I think it depends on the player. So I'd say 100, 200,000 minimum, and then maybe like, again, I'm just basing off of just rough figures. What is a year salary? What is let's say 2-3 year contract? WNBA. I don't know. Again, if it's Caitlin Clark level, maybe I'm not even sure what. I can't go by LeBron because he's played too long. But I think it's 10 years.
Me and the other guys were talking. Mm-hmm. So we were saying the minimum pay should be $500K.
Okay.
And the match should be $4 million, $5 million, somewhere around there.
Like a per season. Yeah, that I could see that. That's fair enough. And like I said, again, these players also could get more if they get endorsement deals, which a lot of them might. So that could bump their salary, quote unquote. It's not a direct pay from a team, but they're getting endorsements like a Nike or Adidas or Gatorade, whoever else these companies do. So I think that's fair. But I think we can all agree too. Ultimately, that to me, honestly. And I'm not a female and elite athlete for that, but I'm insulted by that, because I think that is a bit of a slap in the face. It's not even close.
Dang, I make that. Like 66. Like, geez. And these folks be like, I can. That's terrible. 66.
Yeah, so and the league's probably making what? They're probably making what does the WNBA make with like endorsement plus a TV network? They got to be making a lot of money.
Like I said, it was in a negative for a while. So
yeah,
they
true.
Haven't hit the positive. They haven't hit positive yet. But man, they were only getting paid 9% from deals and stuff. So 9%. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm getting paid from 2% at this other job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The side job I do. I'm like, dang, I need 10.
I was gonna say, you need that extra.
I'm get 10%. I like, if I get 10%, man, I get way more money than what I'm doing at 2. So
exactly.
Yeah, 9 is too low. They gotta bump that up.
They gotta move together. I think it's fair.
More teams. They add a huge TV deal.
Yeah. So I think it's fair. They gotta reconsider.
They need to revamp that and get these ladies paid. But like I said, only a couple mil, because like their ratings are still not there.
Not good. Yeah, no.
It's still not where it's supposed to be, where it can sustain the league. But at least a couple mil. If you playing a professional sport, you should at least be making 6 figures.
It should be respect, you know. And again, like I said, the NBA obviously you can't touch that because that's a league of its own. But you know, for these ladies, I get it. You know, at least find a more happy medium because that's probably the lowballest offer you could. They probably weren't even thinking that. Like, you can't even hit 100K. Like, you're going under that. Like, I mean, come on now.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
A lot of people that will make more than
close
to 100K a year. You know
Please.
What I'm saying?
Like, doctors and lawyers probably make 120K a year. I mean, that's even come on now.
The women got paid for nutrition. They got paid for training. So
no, I definitely think they need to. And if I had any say, which I don't, if I was an exec for the WNBA, yeah, you got to keep the talent happy too. Because remember too, if they go on strike, like the NBA had that lockout all those years, 94, 95, they had that lockout and missed like 2/3 of the season because the players wanted, you know, I understand it, but that hurt. You know, that's television money lost. That's games not televised, and this could be an issue for the WNBA in the future. Where if these players decide to go on strike, I'm not saying they will, just a hypothesis. But you don't want to. It's like the Micah Parsons thing. You don't want to see this go from bad to worse to worse to worse. You want to nip this in the bud.
Yeah.
Get it taken care of now before it gets worse.
Time will tell and see how they come back to the table. But
yeah. We're pulling for you ladies, though. We're pulling for all the ladies in the WNBA. Respect, and we're pulling for you as fans coming here. Just saying.
Be a lockout. Let me just
no, that's worse. Yeah, no.
All right, let's move on to the Brown saga. You know, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. You know, so Dylan Gabriel came out with this comment during Sunday's game. No, that was Saturday's game. And he said how he tuned out the noise. He says there's entertainers and there's competitors. My job is to compete. So I had the video to show you of what Stephen A. reaction to it. And you tell me, is there more to Dylan Gabriel's comment or people just taking out contents? So we'll watch. There's 2 videos, so let's watch this.
I saw one. I want to see the other one. This is
really
great.
messy on social media. People just assuming that Dylan Gabriel was talking about Shedeur Sanders. What was your reaction?
I never believed he was talking about Shedeur Sanders. I totally believed him when he said he was talking about the media. I want to get that out the way first. I don't think he was talking about Shedeur Sanders as well. I think when you heard the comparisons were emanating from the media more so than anybody else. And that's what I think. That's exactly who I think he was directing his comments towards. Having said that, Dylan Gabriel, respectfully, it was stupid. A very dumb comment to make. First of all, let me tell you something right now. In every walk of life, far beyond the parameters of a football field, people are competing. We compete here on television. You compete with radio shows. You compete on Wall Street. You compete on Madison Avenue.
All right, here's the second video. If I could pull it up, my goodness. I hate when that happens. All right, here's part 2.
Everything, especially in America, as it pertains to a capitalistic society, involves competition. To the victor goes the spoils. There are people that are, Jimmy Johnson said it best. He said, I will be very, very consistent in treating you as inconsistently as possible. Those who produce get treated differently than those who don't. What he said echoes the mentality of all of America practically, and most certainly the world, as we see things being globalized more and more every day. It was a stupid, idiotic, immature comment because clearly you were feeling the heat because a lot of people was talking about how Shedeur should be QB number 2. But I know he was not talking about Shedeur Sanders. He was talking about the media. Here's the problem. You've now heightened the level of scrutiny coming your way because the media, including myself, heard what you said.
Woo. So was it just a poor choice of words by Dylan Gabriel or everybody just overreacting?
Well, I do agree with Stephen A. I will say that, and again, as they say, listen up, young man. This is not the time. You haven't done much yet. It's not the time to be trash talking or saying this stuff yet. You're not exactly, you haven't made your thumbprint on the league yet. Okay. The only thing I will say this, I don't necessarily agree with Stephen A there. I don't necessarily think it was intentional, but And if I'm not saying just to cause a rift, but if I'm Shador, I'm taking it a little bit because I feel like some of that could be directed towards him. He's been in the media with the speeding tickets, the off the field stuff. He's had these, he's been performing well. I'll say this off the bat. I know we're going to talk about this too, but I'm not thrilled about what the Browns depth chart looks like right now at quarterback. I'll just say that right off the bat. But I honestly, I think the comments were dumb. Very idiotic. Stephen A. very eloquently said that. And again, you're not a franchise QB. You're not a superstar. Now, if it was a Brady or a Manning or a Breeze or a Roethlisberger or Rodgers or any of these guys who are well established, who won rings and done all these things in the league, you expect that because these guys have earned that right, especially after more than 10 plus seasons playing. Your veterans are going to say that stuff. You don't bat your eyes too much, even the media. You're a rookie. You're fighting for a roster spot. You've barely seen action. You've seen a preseason. You're not even necessarily the chosen one per se. They don't know if you're going to be the QB of the future. So why are you flapping these? Why are you chatting here? You know what I mean? Like some of these young guys and mentors are saying, just go out there and let yourself prove it. You're going to make mistakes, and everybody does. But you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. And I think that's what Dylan Gabriel ultimately. You're going to shoot yourself. Because you're starting these comments to where it's going to make you seem, what's a good word? Not bitter and not whiny per se. But you're
getting to him. The outside noise is actually getting to him.
Yeah, it is. Like you're saying you can handle it, but reality is you're showing you can't exactly, and it makes you look like the bratty child of the group. You know what I mean? So. Again, I mean, everybody's entitled to your opinion too. My recommendation is get some more time under your belt. Get yourself established because even if you're the Browns or maybe a team that needs a quarterback that maybe you could end up somewhere someday, you want to have a good reputation going forward. So I would just try to practice more than what you preach about, keeping the noise out. Don't focus on the media. Let your play on the field. Maybe. And again, I don't know. We haven't seen enough from him to know, is he a franchise quarterback? So. You don't want to end your career prematurely by comments that you make now. So I think, again, I agree with Stephen A. there. I just don't agree with the fact, it might not have been intentional, but I think there might have been a slight shot at Shador, at least a little bit, based on that comment.
I'm definitely feeling like that was a slick comment to Shador.
I mean, come on.
He could have worded that any other type of way.
Yeah.
I mean, you said you tune out the noise. All you had to say, man, all you had to say was, I'm just playing for a spot. I'm just focused on doing what I need to do. And
make the team.
Just left it at that. It kind of reminds me of the Oregon coach comment because it kind of rang similarity to that because the Oregon coach said they fighting for. He talking about Colorado. He said they're fighting for clicks. We fighting for wins.
Yep.
So that almost sound like similarities to there's entertainers. And I'm a competitor. And
come on.
Shador's both. So I feel like he took a little page out of Oregon coach comments and said that because you just don't go out there and just I'm just come up with this quote and say entertainers.
No.
Like why do you say media?
Exactly.
Are people on the radio
or reporters, right? Or TV hosts or
entertainers.
Yeah, come on now. Son of prime time. I mean, come on. And he's been in the news. And I'll say this, not to throw shade at Dylan Gabriel, but he did outshine you in the preseason what he's doing too. So again, he's letting his play do it too. So if you want to be equal or seen as peers, step up your game. Use that not to be jealous. Use that to step up your own game. If you want, like these quarterbacks fighting for competition, you want to be the guy like Brady always said those years. He was 4th on the depth chart at Michigan, 7th at one time, right? And he said, I wasn't expecting to make the team, but I fought because I wanted it. So I wanted to prove I was the guy, and it became obviously the legend that we know. So let your play do it. Let it elevate your game, motivate each other, but don't tear each other down and don't start, you don't want to make enemies on your own team, okay? I mean, that could go bad.
Because even him mentioning entertainers, we'll say you're not talking about Shador. Even him mentioning entertainers, that means the media do have your attention. You say you trying to black out the noise, but you even mention it tells me
you're feeding into it.
You hear that some of the noise is seeping through, so you ain't blocking out the noise. You're doing a terrible job of it because you mentioned it personally. So it was a stupid comment, AI comment. He got caught up in
Yep.
whatever was going on in his life and outside of football, and he listening to the outside noise. That just proves me that he hearing and he watching Shador play at a
Yep.
good level, and he's like, dang, I can't block it out because Shador's entertaining the crowd. He hearing the
He's
watch
getting he's drawing the fans in. He's going, listen, I get it.
doing the whole Hogan, he hearing the
Yeah,
fans and stuff. So
I get it. But it's like, listen, like your mama always said, growing up, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Sometimes silence is the best, thing, and it's the best way to prove that the media's, this noise is not getting to you. So for Dillon Gabriel, here's just the life lesson. If you happen to see this in the future, just sometimes keeping quiet is your best asset. Just go on the field and just play. If you're the best guy out there, the coaching staff will see that. Let your play speak for itself. Leave it on the field. End the story.
Tell me, yep, that's it in a nutshell.
Yep.
So another guy that's need to block out some noise and lock in, Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Let me see if I had a quote. Mike Tannenbaum came out and said this about Trevor Lawrence. He said, "I'm thinking about drafting a quarterback if we don't see a meaningful improvement." So is this Trevor Lawrence make or break year, Sam Crow?
Honestly, I like Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. Again, I thought maybe, I was rooting for the Patriots. I thought, again, Brady's succession plan didn't work out. This is what, year 6 now? 5, 6? I'm losing track. I know
this is
somewhere.
Year 5, I believe.
This is year 5. Okay, so the answer to the question simply is this make or break year? Absolutely. Because you had Doug Peterson, who was supposed to be the quarterback guru. I mean, obviously he won the Super Bowl with Philly, the first one, obviously, before Philly won again with Sirianni, but he had success with Foles, had success, with all these quarterbacks. That didn't pan out. I'm not thrilled about the Liam Cohn hiring. I don't know if that's going to boost Trevor Lawrence anymore. He's got Travis Hunter there. The running game, they're making some moves. I mean, again, Jacksonville is Jacksonville. Let's just be honest. It's not a powerhouse team. Okay, like we can all probably agree with that, right? And it's a tough division. You got Houston down there, who's obviously got something special rolling there. The Colts are building too. Not so much with Daniel Jones at this point, but I think
in the division.
Yeah, so I only say this. It's not to criticize him, but I've watched Trevor for these last several seasons, and I'm like, you know what? Now, young man, it's the time. You've got to step up and prove. Are you a contender or a pretender? Because this team is banking on you to be the franchise quarterback, right? That's a coveted position that every team wants. I was thinking about it, not to put a dig at you, but New Orleans is suffering now. If he's out, I don't think you're gonna have a hope at quarterback now. But the point is just you see how relevant a franchise QB is, and Jacksonville invested a first-round pick for Trevor to be the guy, to be. He's tall, he's good. I mean, his pocket presence, he can do it. I question some of the moves he makes. The swag and stuff is kind of there, but it's almost like back in the day, some of these quarterbacks are projected to be like the Jamarcus Russells. I'm not saying he's a bust, but, they're drafted high, the Giovanni Carmazzis. These guys who were number 1 picks were supposed to be like the future of football, and they tank it. So I don't want to see Trevor go that way. I think he has potential, but especially, again, I put Travis Hunter because that's a big investment that Jaguars give, and that could be helpful. You got to show something. I mean, I'm not saying they got to win the Super Bowl this year, but you got to show
him at playoffs this year.
Exactly. You got to at least, even if it's a wild card, I'm not saying take the division, but you got to show that you are at least competitive enough that there's something to be desired there. Because I know you can bet Jacksonville sitting there thinking, we really don't want to have to re-examine, like Tannenbaum said, drafting another quarterback, but that's a nightmare because you're like, we invested this pick. And, teams like the Patriots are trying to figure it out. The Steelers are trying Rodgers is a Band-Aid, so they need a future. The Patriots
have it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Drake May. I think there's potential there, but time will tell. We got to see. But
yeah.
But that's the fear that whenever you draft a quarterback that high, you got to say, listen, man, after even the Kyler Murray situation, after so many seasons, when is enough enough? I mean, you got to prove something. So, again, at least a playoff run. I would be absolutely shocked if there's even talks of a Super Bowl in Jacksonville, but you never know. But yeah, I think he's got to step up. Otherwise, if you're Jacksonville next year going forward, you got to make those, because again, his 5th-year option gets picked up. He's going to be due a huge contract, and is he going to be worth the money? You're going to have to.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, so you're going to have to. You got to shed some salary. Are you going to keep investing in this guy, or are you going to say, you know what, we got to just flip the script and we got to start over? So for Trevor, again, no pressure, but like the coach on the hot seat, you got to do something. You got some talent there. Let's see what you guys can do, and give it your best.
He recently signed a 5-year, $275 million contract with $200 million guaranteed.
It's time to pony. Yeah, you got to pony up now. They're paying you. Now that's Jacksonville. That's Jacksonville's misfortune, but you got to pony up now, because that's a huge investment. They're paying you, and they're telling you, we're paying you now. We're backing you, but if you flop, which could happen, this is why I say he shouldn't look at the money, though. I mean, don't look at the contract. Don't let that pressure get to you. Do it because you want to be the better quarterback. Do it because you're challenging your, you know what I mean? Like, don't let other influences factor you the pressure. But if you're that talented and that skilled, I mean, he had flashes of greatness at Clemson. I mean, they won the state title and all that stuff.
Though. I'm tired of Trevor Lawrence, man.
That's what I'm saying.
He's 20. He went 22-38. He's 1-1 in the playoffs. Of course, Chargers give rap that playoff run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has 69 touchdowns, 46 interceptions. His QBR, he make the intermediate and short passes. He's 85% there overall in QBR through his career. But I've seen enough. I mean, he had talent around him. I mean, at one point in time, he had the best three. He had a pretty good receiving core. Christian Kirk and some of the other guys. And now he had Brian Thomas Jr. He has Travis Hunter. I can't remember who the third receiver is. He had Evan Ingram. He lost him. But they have surrounded him with talent.
Right.
And he just haven't able to get over the hump. And for me, it's him being able to be a leader. I don't think he's just that guy that can lead your team.
Exactly.
You need other veterans to corral and get the team going.
Right.
And I just seen him come up short too many times, not be able to make the throw, not able to get the team over the hump. And exactly. So now, like you said, it's a make or break year for him.
Got to do it.
Is either do or die, because we can't keep waiting for you to become sunshine. Everybody call him sunshine. I call him dark and gloomy, because when I watch him play, I'm like, oh, bro, what is that?
It's like a bad movie gone wrong. Yeah, it's like you wait for a good ending and it just ends badly. Yeah,
it's time for him. He got paid. They paid.
You got to live up to it.
Put up, or shut up. It's time.
Or that's it. Yeah. And if you're Jacksonville saying, okay, then we got to cut bait. It's time to move on. Then if he's not the answer, I mean, you got to make the hard decisions. So that's the thing Jacksonville's got to look at too, saying, listen, commitment and loyalty over what's best for the franchise. If he's not the guy, then you got to move forward. You got to put the whole team first, not just one guy. So, it's like with the Giants finally all those years after Daniel Jones. Clearly, he wasn't the answer there. So, you can. I knew that. I knew that from the beginning.
I could have helped them out with that.
I could have too. I knew it from the first year.
They paid him over Saquon, which blows my mind. I could watch Daniel Jones. It's like, hey, y'all sure about this guy? Y'all sure y'all want him?
Yep. Like, and you see the consequence about they stayed loyal to one guy. Now, again, I understand loyalty is a big thing, but the guy is not producing. And again, Trevor Lawrence could follow that same model. You don't want to show yourself as a mediocre player. I mean, maybe it's the system. Maybe you need a fresh start somewhere else. He could go somewhere else and thrive. That's always a possibility. But you don't want to keep sitting there being average. And the team is, because that's not a good audition. Nobody's going to want you. Who's going to want an average quarterback there? They're going to say, yeah, we're desperate. But like even Daniel Jones now, he's lucky enough to find a job when he did, because teams are like, nobody's stepping up with a high pick to trade for it. They're not going to sign him to a huge deal. They've seen, or lack thereof, what he's not produced. So that's not enough to inspire teams like, oh yeah, he's our future, long-term option. He's going to be the next great Montana. He's going to be Steve Young coming, all this stuff. So, and again, I'm not bashing Trevor. I think I don't know him personally. I've seen him play. All I'm saying, purely football, which we can agree on, is this has got to be the year. If this is not the year, Jacksonville's got to say, scrub it. We got to start over. Plain and simple.
And it won't be a bad thing either, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming down in the draft. And like I said, this team is offensive loaded. They got 2 great running backs and Tate Bigsby and
quarterback away. Quarterback away. I
mean, so who knows?
They just need the right guy.
So the Browns named Joe Flacco the starting quarterback, and the Colts named Daniel Jones the starting quarterback. I mean,
it's going to snow now for sure. I mean,
all right. The question is, which one of them quarterbacks get benched in the middle of the season?
Oh, between Jones and Flacco?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Well, let me say this, first of all. The Flacco one was not a surprise because obviously we kind of saw where this was heading. I don't like the depth chart. I don't think Shedeur should be at 4, in my opinion. I know it's Flacco 1, Pickett is 2, Dylan Gabriel is 3, and obviously Shedeur is 4. One of those guys is going to be the odd man out. I still say it's Pickett. That's my prediction there. In Indy, I know Anthony Richardson was suffering. I think he hurt himself again. So I know he's having, and they're not sure about him for the future. Who gets benched mid-season? Well, if they get benched, who could potentially? Considering I don't like Daniel Jones a lot. I think the Colts could do better. Unless they make a mid-season trade, perhaps, or they bring someone in, or maybe one of the rookies they have steps up. My guess would be Flacco. Simply because the Browns have more options at quarterback. And again, you've got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Now, depending on how their season goes, it's a timeless tale. Fans always chant for what? They want the next rookie coming up. So if the starter's not doing good, they're mid-season or what? What's mid-season now? 6-10, like 6 and whatever. They're below 500. I could see the team calling, you know what? The season's over. Let's put Shedeur. Let's put Dylan Gabriel. Let's see what they got. What do we got to lose? So I think Flacco, for that case, has the most pressure. Because again, Indianapolis, I mean, they got some talent there, but Texans are going to be hard to combat with. But again, Flacco at 40, I know he's old, he's this, he's that, but listen, I know they've seen what they saw from everybody else. I said it before too. I don't like thrusting the young guys in. I would have picked Shedeur, just say, what the heck, just throw him in number 1 and see what happens, because you could always switch it out. But that's the team's deal. So, but I think Flacco is the likeliest option that would get benched. Maybe he gets hurt mid-season. I mean, is he going to hold up? Same thing like with Rodgers. Can you hold up for 17 games? Even with a bye week, I mean, that's a lot of on the field activity. So, I would expect to see Flacco replaced by either Pickett or one of the rookies. Depending again how Cleveland's season's going. Because I honestly don't know. Outside of Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, I forget who their rookie is. I think they only have one other rookie. The Colts have on their run.
Kyle Leonard.
Yeah, something. Yeah, so I think, and again, Richardson is hurt, and he's probably going to be banged up probably for the season. So I think Daniel Jones, by luck of default, is going to be entrenched for, again, I say that loosely, for the season at least. He's not going to be the long term, obviously, for the Colts. But I think his job is safe. I think it's more Flacco will be under pressure, and it's unfortunate because he'll be the one to take the blame when the Browns season starts to go rough. So it'll be, again, Pickett, could be Gabriel, could be Sanders. So I think it's Flacco.
I'm going Daniel Jones.
Okay.
I think Daniel Jones, because the Colts, they have a little bit more history of making the playoffs. I think they're 2 years removed.
True, yeah.
And I think they have a lot more riding on being successful now with this team.
That's fair.
How it's constructed. They got amazing receiver core. They got one of the best running backs in the backfield, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Defense, they added a lot of pieces on defense, especially on the corners.
That's true.
And safety. So they improved the defense in the offseason. So I'll say the Colts is in that window of we making moves to get to the next step, which is the Super Bowl. Like I said, they 1 year removed from the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I feel like Daniel Jones starts screwing up, or he started making bad passes, or even get hurt. I can see AR coming in. I say that I think this moment for AR is his reckoning. It's him realizing I need to get my ish together, or on the bench forever, or out the league.
Pretty much.
So I think this benching is good for your AR. He see a couple of games, and like I said, Daniel Jones, continue to do bad or whatever, then AR would come in. And I kind of see what you're saying with Flacco, but I think the Browns are in a patient waiting mode.
True.
Per se, because they nobody see them doing anything. I think that's why they went with Flacco anyway.
Probably
to be that layover for next year when they finally make their jump. But I like I said, Daniel Jones, I never was high on him. So it's just gonna have to keep our eyes on him. Flower said we just need Daniel to complete passes, nothing big. We have the players that can carry him. Yep, Flowers. That's the thing though. Daniel Jones just gotta make the passes, and is he gonna do it? I guess
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, my question too, you bring up an interesting point is, would you say if the Colts are, let's say they're close to a playoff run, now let's say Anthony Richardson's hurt, they're not liking Daniel Jones. Do you think they make a trade or bring in a quarterback that could get them? They're like, we were so close to the playoffs, we can taste it. Is that a move they make, even if it's just for the rest of the season? Do you see them maybe doing that? See, that's the only thing though. That's the question. I don't know. There's not a lot of options out there. So,
well, I heard rumors that I don't know if it's the Colts, but teams were calling about Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. That's again, not to knock Jameis Winston, but between him and Daniel Jones, that's like, I don't even know. That's such a hard. Jameis has had flashes. I guess if for consistency and completing passes though, I give Jameis a little bit more of a nudge than Daniel Jones. I've seen some of the passes that Jameis is capable of. Obviously, you don't want him to have that year he went 30 for 30 touchdowns and 30 picks in the same season. You don't want that. But, and again, if it's true, and I think the Giants would be smart to part with them, maybe the Colts, if it's just to get them to the playoff run, let's say if he's hurt and he can't play, and you don't trust Daniel Jones, and you're not going to thrust the rookie in there, obviously, if you're going for a playoff push. So that might make sense. But again, you also know at the end of the day, if Anthony Richardson, same situation like Trevor Lawrence, if he's not the guy going forward, the Colts are going to have to reset. And again, quarterback draft classes are coming out, so maybe they got to decide sooner than later.
At this point in time in that division for the Colts, it's for the taking. I mean, we saw Texans take a step back. Tennessee is not going to be anything in 2 or 3 years. Give them a couple years. They got to continue to build. And then Jacksonville, they might be doing a reset.
So
a new quarterback.
This could be the year for the Colts. Yeah. So
if the coach if Dane Downs just play within himself and not make bonehead decisions and get the balls to the playmakers, then
it's a big
they have a chance to move up and
they could
surprise the Texans. Scott, I think the Texans they didn't make the right moves in the offseason. They traded the best lineman, Larry Tunsil.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
why. So
and they just traded
sleepwalking.
And they just traded John Meacham, the receiver, to the Eagles. They made a trade.
Now Gatwood said John Meacham is nobody, but I disagree. He played a good role.
I like him
when Tank Dell went down.
Yeah, I mean, I like him as a slot guy. Yeah,
he was solid in my eyes when he filled in for Tank Dell. So why thin that receiving core when y'all are known
that's the
to have
problem
injuries there?
Because what did they get back? I mean, they got a draft pick back, but that's not going to help you this season unless you're going to make a mid-season trade. So, well, I guess you could call Odell Beckham Jr. He's sitting out in free agency if you had to. Except
good luck to him. Yes. So I'm going to mention Flowers' comment real quick. He said Daniel Jones complete like 62 to 65% of his passes is what we need. Past 2 years, we've been 5 or 6 away from winning the division. This is with Minshew, Flacco, and Wentz. Yep.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, I agree with him. I think if he doesn't have to be flashy, if he can make the passes, because you're going to hand the ball off. You got to give Jonathan Taylor the ball, but you don't want to make him running 100 times a game. Yeah, so you got to split the running and the passing. Don't be flashy. Just complete the passes, make the downs. You don't have to be beating teams 50-3, but you want to at least score points. I think if they do that, they got a shot. But Daniel Jones is very like Sam Darnold, very flip-floppy. Sometimes he looks promising. Other times he just goes right off the cliff, and it's like, oy, this is why the Giants didn't keep him, and this is why they said 6-7 years was enough. So we'll see. Time will tell. Again, I don't wish him any ill will. It's just I'm basing it off of pure football. I've watched football for a very long time, and I've seen good ones and I've seen bad ones. And he's right in that he's not franchise caliber. He's not necessarily super bad, but he's like mediocre for me at best. So time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will tell. It's gonna be interesting to see how these teams come out.
It's a long season.
Let's do Madden. So Madden came out with their Super Bowl prediction. Falcons versus the Ravens. I don't know how they came with the Falcons because the Falcons is not getting past the Eagles.
Who does this? Who does this algorithm?
Lions.
Seriously.
They wouldn't get past the 49ers in my eyes. So, SoundCrow, this is a super early prediction. Who would be your Super Bowl picks? We saw Madden do that simulation. Who would be your two Super Bowl teams?
Okay, well, clearly they're not far off with the Ravens, but the Falcons is a swing and a miss. Let's just get that out of the way. It is early. I'm always one. I like to say I never like to predict too early because it's time. Things can change like on a dime throughout the season, so you never know. Obviously, in the AFC, I would say, Kansas City is going to be in that talk. They're getting older. Baltimore, Buffalo is going to be up there. One of the teams, though, if you're looking at it, and I like them. I think I said this on the show. I was talking to, your brother about this the one time. Honestly, one of the surprise teams I liked last year that I could see making a Super Bowl push because they were close is the Houston Texans. Again, I know they're young, and a lot of teams that, they had quite a playoff push last year. They were close. Obviously they fell short, but it wasn't for lack of talent. CJ Stroud is a kid that is really blossoming there.
Terrible.
That's the thing. Yeah, they got to work on some things. They got to get that run game. Obviously Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon are not going to be your, they're getting towards the twilight of their careers. They're not exactly the power horse you need back there. So a few more pieces, but outside of Baltimore and Buffalo, and again, you got to give Kansas City nods. There's not a lot of competition. I think they'd have to go through, at least from the AFC standpoint. So I like Houston getting there. In the NFC, obviously Philly. I don't think Philly's going to repeat. They'll be in the playoffs. I'm going to throw another bender out, and people are going to think I'm nuts. And I've said this too. I said the same thing. Like I said, the Houston team. This is my dark horse for the NFC. It's the Washington Commanders. Quite honestly, I could say the Detroit Lions. They could be up there too. But look what Washington did last year. Again, nothing flashy, nothing nothing to write home about, but. They came close. That playoff loss, I was hoping against Philly, was close. They put up a fight there, and obviously Philly overtook them, but I like Jaden Daniels. They're adding some pieces. Von Miller's older, but that'll help the pass rush a little bit.
You got to think about the Commanders when they trading Brian Robinson Jr. and what's his name? His name escaped me. The receiver,
Scary Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
That's two big pieces. Well, Brian Robinson, he's okay, but that's two main pieces.
Well, if it happens, though, again, it's only been floated, and there's always a chance they could work out. I know where Terry's coming from, so I understand the fight there. But outside of that, if they can keep that, because they added Deebo Samuel, obviously, which is a nice pairing there. They got a pretty decent. They got Laramie Tunsil on that line that'll help. That's the veteran experience they need there. So their running game. I'm not again. It's just a wild prediction because it's so early. But I could say what did I say? Houston. As odd as it might seem, I could see that. I could see Detroit being in there too because obviously they've been close and they got some talent. But that's the other thing for me too is in the Goff situation. Jared Goff. This is a make or break year. You got Amon-Ra there. You got Jamal Williams there. You got all these players. You got Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. You can make it. You should make it. So I'm going to avoid the obvious ones. I'm going to say I'm not going to go crazy saying the Falcons, obviously, but I'll say I could see a Houston versus Washington. I could see it as funny as it sounds. That kind of makes sense in some cases.
I could see more Washington than Houston, but if I had to choose, I'm going with Buffalo, of course.
Okay.
I feel like if this is my super early prediction, I have Buffalo coming out of AFC and have the St. Louis Rams coming out of NFC.
Oh,
the Rams kryptonite the whole season was stopping the run, and Saquon was gashing them both times.
That's true.
We gotta remember last year the Rams was whooping Buffalo.
That's true. Yeah, they were.
Buffalo came back home.
That's
I
true.
never seen nothing like it. So the Rams, man, they got the talent. I know Matthew Stafford, he's holding his back like a grandpa. They probably got him a cane and a walker. You know, they probably got him a scooter too, so he had to use his back a lot. But
well, I mean, he's
like
out for
Rams,
10
how they
weeks though.
constructed.
He's out for 10 weeks. So I mean, that's
the more rest he get, the better.
That's true. Well,
The
you know what? I will say
the
this:
Rams are loaded
Garoppolo can hold it. I mean, he's not my favorite, but he's decent for backup. So as long as he keeps the Rams in contention, I mean, he could listen. Jimmy G could carry them to the playoffs, and Matt Stafford could come back right at the beginning of the playoffs. Maybe that's the formula they need to win another ring. Who knows? It's possible. So
I think Matthew Stafford probably be back about week 5 or 6. Cause he's practicing right now. So I could see. That's why I said the Rams, because they don't need some of these games. They probably wouldn't need them, but they loaded. Jimmy G, he looked pretty good in preseason. They just need him to right the ship. I mean, you got Kyron Williams, you got Devontae Adams, you got Puka, Nakua. Yeah. I mean, that team is scary.
I mean, their defense isn't too shabby. I mean, obviously you miss having Aaron Donald, but their defense isn't too shabby otherwise. So I mean, they could do it. I could see that. They could definitely take the Niners.
That's my early prediction.
I like it.
Early prediction.
I like it. I can roll with that. I respect that. I like it. Okay.
All right. Let me do my AFC South record prediction, and you can give me a grade at the end, and then we'll move on to fan posts and ask the fan question of the day.
Okay.
So let me pull it up. AFC East record prediction. I have Bills number 1 at 12-5. They were 13-4 last year.
Right.
Again, the Bills is knocking on the door.
Yeah.
They just gotta kick it in. I'm not talking about open it. They need to kick the door in.
With a steel-toe boot.
Yes. They need to tear down the door because they need to get to the Super Bowl.
Put dynamite there if you have to. Blow that door right off the hinges. Come on, guys.
Don't misuse Josh Allen years. They need
because he's getting older.
There.
Yeah.
He's getting older. The team they trying to revamp and add more pieces. They didn't add a receiver last year who they tremendously needed. So don't waste Josh Allen. Y'all need to stop playing around, get past the Chiefs.
That window's closing. Yep. I like that so
far. Second, this might surprise a lot of people, but when I'm looking at this schedule, I like, man, it's pretty easy. And they showed the grittiness last year. I'm going with the Patriots at 9-8.
Ooh, okay.
Drake May played his heart out. He's tough. He made the right passes. Now they're bringing Mike Vrabel, who led that amazing Tennessee Titans team to the autumn playoffs. They just couldn't get past the hump because they had Tannehill. He just couldn't get it done for him. Yeah. But the Patriots, that defense is mean, man. One of their best corners is coming back. Is Gonzalez. I mean, Ramondo Stevenson. They got the rookie they drafted. So
they got Carlton Davis. They brought in free agency, which is nice. I mean,
the Patriots, they made some moves.
Yeah, they spent the money.
They spent the money, and I feel like how the schedule is set up for them, that they can go 9-8. Last year they went 4-13.
Yep.
They went 4-13. So this is a huge jump. They're adding 5 more wins onto that. And I feel like they can do it, man. They played some teams tough last year.
Yeah, okay.
Third, I have the Dolphins, Tyler Wright. He's the other co-host for the show. He called this purgatory. Right now, the Dolphins are in purgatory. They are going 8-9, and they went 8-9 last year. Their defense is horrendous. They lost corners. They lost their starting corner to injury not too long ago. He's out for the year.
Well, they're bringing Matthew Judon on, though. He's just coming in now.
Yeah,
so that'll
you still got covered. And Matthew Judon last year was a flop. He didn't do anything for the Falcons. I don't know what the deal is.
He's getting older. He's getting older. So
Falcons. Yeah. And the back end, they lost Jalen Ramsey. They traded Jalen Ramsey, even though they bring in Minka Patrick.
Yeah.
So, but the secondary is in shambles.
They are. Yeah,
the linebackers are okay. The best thing about the defense is the D-line.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's only
solid.
so much they can do. It's only so much they can do.
True.
And how the Dolphins, they've been losing to these hard-nosed teams. They got a
Yeah.
good bit of them on the schedule this year.
Yep.
So it's gonna be tough for Dolphins to get past some of these teams that are physical
That's
with
true.
them.
That's true. Yeah, that
So,
is true.
and can Tua stay healthy all year? They
Big
lost their
question.
best
Big
tackle
question.
retired this past season. So
yeah. Okay.
it's gonna come
And
down to that. It's gonna come down to different other things too. And
yep.
you know, Jalen Ramsey, he came out and said that Sean, not what's his Matt Daniels,
Mike
that
McDaniel.
he's
Mike
weird.
McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel,
Yep.
he's weird. He said call him weird. So he try to say face. He like weird in a good way. I'm
Yeah, you
like,
think
come
okay.
on, dude. Oh yeah,
Just
when
drop
you
it.
call
Yeah.
somebody weird, you never mean it in a good way.
That's like calling your date on the first date with a girl. You don't call her strange when you pick her up from the. Oh, you're ugly. Well, that's not going to go well for the date. So
Like, yeah, you're ugly. Like I admit it like that. Like ugly good.
how did you mean it? Like, I mean, yeah. So yeah, not a good idea. But I understand where he's coming from. But I mean, still, some things you best not to say. Just keep it to
So he
yourself.
took a shot. I feel like I wish players, if you say something, just mean it. You meant it the way you say it.
Don't beat around the bush. Yep, just say it, get it out there. Yep.
Man, come on, Jalen Ramsey. He's a crybaby anyway.
And last but not least,
you already know who last. Jets are 6-11.
I know.
It's just gonna like. I get it. The defense is gonna be the key again.
Yeah.
Because I know Justin Fields, he kind of limited, and I don't know their vision for him.
Right.
For me, I feel like he should have more design runs.
Yeah.
Try to get in space. Try to use Breece Hall more. Last year they didn't use Breece Hall enough.
Right.
The rookie last year from Wisconsin, Allen took some of his carries, and I don't know. I need to see how this offense gonna look. Will he able to get Garrett in the ball?
That's true.
It's really gonna come down to the offense. I know the defense is the key for them, and Aaron
But
Glenn,
you gotta have a good offense too. Yeah.
First year coach he's a first year coach in a division where there's veteran coaches.
Right. So, I like Aaron Glenn. I like him. Listen, he was I still have his card somewhere. I watched him when he was a player back, and that tells you how old I am.
I love him with the Saints. He was with us in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Aaron Glenn, I mean, I feel like he's trying to be too stubborn, too like
he's coming in hard nosed right off the bat. Yeah,
hard nosed, man. Like I know you're trying to change the culture, but
I get it. But still,
like they had Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh wasn't a pushover, so I don't. They should win. They should win with an offensive coordinator. They tried defensive coordinator thing, and didn't work out. They should have brought in young offensive minded guy who's gonna rejuvenate the offense. Cause that was the problem. The problem was the offense. They couldn't get nothing going. It wasn't defense.
Yeah, and you think about it, you had now, and that's the thing. No offense to I was rooting for the Saints for this too because they needed a head coach. You had Ben Johnson out there; could have been a nice fit there for the Jets. Good offensive mind. He's probably gonna do some good things with Caleb Williams. I liked Aaron Glenn to the Saints, honestly, too. The head coach job. I mean, that's just my opinion, but that's the only bad part is when you get these coaches, they come into these teams, they kind of almost feel like they set you up to fail because it's going to be tough, and then of course all the eyes are going to be on. And New York is always they're hard teams to coach, and the fans are not merciful. So, how many years we could count over all the coaches that between the Giants and the Jets over the years. I mean, it's been a brutal scenario. So,
yeah,
I just hope for Aaron. I love Aaron Glenn. I just this is one of the toughest jobs to take. So I just hope they don't run him out of town after the first year. I hope they give him at least a chance to try to do something.
It's a 3-year project to get all the pieces. I mean, the offensive pieces is there. It's just like I said, it all depends on how they're going to use
They just got to gel and get the play calling together. They got to get used to each other. So you got to give it time to start formulating. But yeah, they're not far away, but not quite there yet. So
not quite there, not yet.
So what's your win loss for them then?
I had them 6-11. They went 5-12 last year, so they get one more win.
Okay, nice. All right. Well, I'll say this, and again, my grade overall for that, if you're asking too, I like the ingenuity behind it too, and the only reason I don't have the Dolphins at 2 is because of Tua. That's my concern. Is I think his career is going to be over before it really starts after 4 concussions at 27 almost years old. So outside of that, I think the Patriots could be number 2. I'd say A+. I will say that for that division pick because obviously we know, again, Buffalo's going to be number 1. I highly doubt the Patriots are going to upseat. Now, they could challenge if this all goes well in a couple seasons, especially as the Bills age. But right now it's Buffalo's time. They're taking that division reign. And obviously the Jets and the Dolphins are still trying to find their identities to compete. I think they have it in them, but they're not quite there. They're still in that rebuilding phase. Right. So, but I like the Patriots. I like Vrabel. I mean, he won 3 titles there as a player. I remember I watched him back in the day. Again, I'm that old. So, but, I think it's the right formula there. And, again, Patriots are building that defense back. And, 9-8 is realistic, I think, too. And I would say, too, I think the Bills have a slight step back. But even at 12-5, I think they could make a playoff push. So I like it. That's the way I would put it. So, yeah, A+ for sure.
Thank you.
Of course.
It take me long to come up with this. That's
record. Not a hard division. Yeah, that's not a hard one.
Yeah, like
some of these you just know, like you do it in your sleep. You just know, like this is not hard. Yeah, no.
not at all.
No.
All right, let's go on fan posts. We're gonna go to the question of the day. Well, the fan question of the day. All right, the question is from official Teddy P. He said, which of these teams will most likely make the playoffs?
Okay.
Cowboys, Bengals, Panthers, 49ers, or Bears?
Wow. Okay. Oh boy. This is one of those, like, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I can say of those teams who's most likely to make the playoffs, I'm going to say this one again. I like to be controversial. I think that's my thing this year, but honestly, I'm going to say, and again, I know the Niners should be an easy answer, same thing with the Bengals and stuff, but it's a tough division too. I'm actually going to go with the Chicago Bears, quite honestly. I know that sounds might be out there a little bit, but I like Ben Johnson. I like what he's done with Detroit there. Obviously, he helped run that offense. I mean, obviously, it's a different setup with the Bears. They're not quite the same talent. But if Caleb Williams is solid this year, they've got some. They rebuilt that line. They've got some pieces. I mean, the receiving core is not star laden, if you want it, but I like guys like Roma Dunze. There's young talent there. Panthers, obviously, we know they're not going to. I mean, please. Although, again, if they're picking the Falcons to win the Super Bowl, I guess anything's possible. And the reason I'm not saying the Bengals have struggled, I think their struggles continue. And Dallas, what's going on in Dallas right now? And again, for me, Dallas is. I just shake my head. It's like it's the same story every year. Whether or not they got Micah Parsons there, they cannot get over that hump. So of all those, and the Niners are they're regressing a bit from where they were before. So I just think of those teams. I think the Bears, they have some prospects. I'm not saying they will make it, but if you're asking between those, I say look, watch the Chicago Bears, because that division. I mean, again, outside of the Lions, I mean, the Packers and the Vikings are not a certainty. So if the Bears can finish number 2, they might get in as a wild card. They're not winning the division, obviously, but I think they could make it as a wild card. So I'm going to say Chicago Bears.
I like that. I think the Bears are going to make the playoff this year. They have all the right pieces. They lost some heartbreaking games last year.
Yeah.
They even beat some good teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Caleb Williams is going to be a lot better. His decision-making is going to be a lot quicker. He's not going to hold on to the ball like he did last year. Ben Johnson going to have him ready to go. But my pick would be the Bengals. They were 1 game out last year, and they dealt with injuries. They dealt with a lot of injuries last year.
That's
fair.
fair.
Like defense is going to be better. T. Higgins is going to be back in full force. Chase Brown going to be even better than he was last year. So the pieces are there. If Joey carried them that far last year with just being 1 game out, I can definitely see them doing it again with this team being a lot healthier.
Okay.
And plus, Zach Taylor might be on a hot seat. I mean, if they don't make the playoffs again this year, Zach Taylor, I ain't gonna say it, but you might be packing your bags.
I would say, I mean, listen, I mean, again, you're so close. If they fall 1 game shy or 2 games out again, like this would be like the second or third year where they came up short.
Yes.
And you're only a couple of years away from the Super Bowl. That's the hard part. So, you know, and again, the fans crave it. The Bengals are one of those teams that are dying for a championship. They haven't tasted that victory yet. So, and they've been close. And you know that fans are going to want it. Once they taste, as they say, like the sharks in the water, once you taste blood in the water, you start dreaming about it. So just do your best. I hope the best for the Bengals. I mean, again, the Steelers are not much. They're older too. I mean, Baltimore's your main challenge there. So it's possible, but you never know. One or two injuries, 1 or 2 games, they could just surprise beat these teams and be right there. So anything could happen. It's a wait and see.
I can see them being a wild card. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but definitely a wild card.
When you have 3 teams, now they changed the rule. So now instead of 2 playoff teams, you have 3. So that adds another opportunity. So it kind of spreads out the plus points a little bit. So that makes and I guess I might nod for the Bengals. That makes it even, I don't want to say easier, but it makes the pathway a little bit more attainable when there's an extra seat to the party at the table, if you will. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity where, and again, I don't like to say it because I don't want to offend anybody. Like it's hard to pick the talent in these divisions and these conferences. So, you know, you're whittling down who are the better teams, and it's a dogfight. We see all these years when it comes down to like the last week of the season where these teams they're like the Rottweilers in the dog pound. They're fighting for these last few seats like hard. So it becomes competitive at the end. And I think, Cincinnati, like the Bears, if they can hang tight and they don't have to be flashy, they could claim one of those seats and be right in the playoffs. So it could happen. You never know.
You never know. Media Mongol, he says, still a nation all day. So I know he don't like hearing that Bengals talk of them second division. But Aaron Rodgers, sorry, Media Mongol, Aaron, he's old. He didn't look very mobile in them drills he was doing.
If this was like 5 years ago, maybe he'd still have some in the tank. But this is like trying to keep the old jalopy running, the old coupe running. Like this is, again, no offense to Aaron.
Keep the car running.
Yeah. No offense to Aaron. I'm not saying it to be mean, but it's just, time catches up with everybody. And obviously the Steelers know this is like a one, and supposedly this could be his last year, but maybe he plays, even if he plays next year, it's only a 1 or 2 year binge. It's not a forever. This is not this is not Ben Roethlisberger in his prime kind of thing either. So.
Yeah. Hey, what's so funny? It just made me thought about this incident that me and my friend had. Well, it's not an incident. He had this car. It was a Honda.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it would stall on him because it was a stick shift. And it would stall on him sometimes. So we literally had to get out, push it, run, hop in it, and crank it up as it was going to get it started. And that's how I see Aaron Rodgers. Like, don't cool it off. Like, you got to keep the engine running. You got you got to take care of it. You got to give a good push off to get it going.
And again, this is the thing. Like, I remember this because I was rooting. I'm a big Brady fan. I was rooting for him towards the end. Like, listen, he said after 40, and then when they changed it to like 17 games, at my age, hitting past 40, like to go this long of a season, like, and again, we saw how well Brady kept his body obviously in shape. He was ridiculously in fitness mode to do that. Not everybody does, but the point is, he said, after he reached like even in Tampa, age 43 and 44, he's like, this gets harder every year. My body is taking a toll. And, he said after he retired, he said, I couldn't keep going. They keep adding these games to the season. I said, I'm dead. And come the end of the season, I'm barely making it through the playoffs. And, the Bucs won the Super Bowl, but he's like, after you hit 40, and it doesn't matter how your body type is, but we can still play. But your expectation is, you can't expect the guy to be, that's like I always use the Jordan analogy when Jordan comes to the Wizards. Like, listen, he can play, obviously. Jordan was a special type. But you saw what he did with the Wizards those 2 seasons. He's not vintage Jordan. He's aging, like LeBron is now. He can still play, but you can't expect him to be on the court 40 minutes a game. He's not going to be draining 80 points a game. He's not going to be, you know what I mean? Like, that championship window has sailed. So,
for Rodgers' sake, they're going to have to run the ball for his sake.
Exactly. That's
dropping the ball off.
You got to give Grandpa a break once in a while. Give him a breather with the oxygen tank.
And keep him upright. I mean,
pretty much.
Hopefully that O-line can hold up for him.
Because he can't run every game. There's no way.
Media Mogul said they can get Rodgers out of here. So even Steelers fans are split on Rodgers. All right, let's go to
I don't know.
What you gonna say?
I was just saying, I get the love. I just don't understand. Like, listen, again, I'll give you props. If this was Aaron Rodgers, even at 37, 38, like 2-3 years ago, I would say maybe. But you see what, like, even in practice, that first practice, he's throwing a pick. Like, and again, I know it's a new system.
Yeah,
and even
well, he did come out and say, he said, you will get some interceptions, but you're gonna get a lot of touchdowns with me.
Yeah, okay. We'll see.
I was like, that's good. That's good.
Let's see what happens. We'll see if he's still talking when he's upright, how many hits he takes. So yeah.
Right. So man, let's get into our sports news real quick before we get off. As you mentioned earlier, Matthew Judon signed with the Dolphins. Coach signed Xavier Howard. I mean, that's a good veteran pickup.
Yeah, that's nice.
John Wall announced his retirement from the NBA.
Yeah.
He said he's done. And Sophia Cunningham is out for the remainder season for the Indiana Fever.
That hurts, yeah.
And it hurts big time. That's their enforcer. That's the only one that fights for Caitlin Clark, which is crazy.
Yep.
And Terry McLaurin, the Raiders are interested in Terry McLaurin, which would be huge for the Raiders. They need a receiver like that.
They need a lot there, but yeah. Yeah.
That would say the Commanders cannot afford to lose Terry McLaurin. That'll be they gotta. That's the whole point of getting Debo, to get more weapons for
to complement, right? And I, it's the same thing. Like, I use this analogy. I hate to do this because it makes it seem like we're nagging on it, but it's like the Micah deal. Like, listen, when you got a player that you know is vital to your organization, like a Micah Parsons to the Cowboys, just as an example, not calling it out, Cowboys fans, but yes, I am. You gotta do what you can to keep them there. And again, I'm not saying for Washington you have to go, money crazy. You don't want to guarantee all this. You don't want to bet the farm. You obviously have to pay other players, and you got to think about the future. But Terry McLaurin's still young enough. He's not even 30 yet. So you got him at least three maybe so plus prime seasons, give or take, that he could at least give you. So, and what other options do you have outside, like I said, Debo? Outside of that, you need talent there. And obviously for Jaden Daniels' sake, you want to give him all the great pass catchers that.
You can't take away his number one guy.
Exactly. That they don't have outside of Debo. I mean, Debo's not really a core number one anymore. So unless they're going to make I heard the rumor at one point they're still talking, even though the Niners are not trading them, but the Brandon Ayuk thing about, listen, you can keep spinning that story. You can throw picks out there. It could happen still, but you got a number one key player there, Terry, for the Commanders. Pay the guy, because there's nobody else on that depth chart that's going to rise to number one. Even if you go into free agency, there's really nobody at this stage. Now, again, things can change up to the trade deadline. Obviously, we've seen strange things happen over the years. I have, at least for all the years I've seen it. But I'm just a big fan of, if you got something and it works and it ain't broke, don't fix it. You may as well just roll with what you got, because, I mean, again, the chemistry's there. And again, he's been there. He's getting to know Jaden, and I'm sure they've worked out together. So why would you take away that top target for him? And Terry McLaurin is a guy I like, where he's very clutch with, you need a catch made, he's the guy you're going to throw the ball to, and he's come up big. Exactly. So you can't, you lose that. You lose that, and I'll tell you what, my Super Bowl prediction is out the window. They lose that, then I'll say, forget that, Washington.
Well, like I said, Terry McLaurin's on trade block, and so is Brian Robinson Jr. So who's left? Eckler's up there in 8, so good luck to the Commanders fans.
I know, that's the hard part, but you never know. And again, who knows what these super deals could happen. I mean, I'll throw a funny one. Hey, Micah Parsons for Terry kind of deal. I doubt it, because that's not a big need for them. But funnier things happen, and who knows what the season, of course, injuries and maybe teams, maybe contract disputes. I mean, the Trey Hendrickson thing, that saga is going to go on for who knows. He even said, no, I think that was the other bit of news. I don't know if it's on there, but I heard this, I think yesterday, he said too, he's willing to sit out the whole season and forego his salary because he's not budging on the contract talks.
Yeah, well, they got him on the trade block. They just waiting for, I guess they're getting offers, because they said they willing to trade him. So I guess they're gonna have to at this point, because they can't afford to have this. The same thing like with Micah Parsons, and I know what Jerry Jones has been saying, but if you don't settle this drama, you can't have a. And I'm not saying it to blame like Micah in this case. His points are valid. I blame the organization, but
he becomes that quintessential problem child. You can't have this dragon. Both sides need to move on. So get what you can
Adam
get.
Schefter said he think it's over. So
I agree
think
too.
we'll stop.
I think it's done.
So.
And even though Jerry Jones is saying, "Oh, this is just part of his negotiating tactic," he's telling you. Micah Parsons was quoted saying, "I do not want to be here anymore. I do not like it here." So what? Like I said, I heard that, and I'm going to Jerry Jones like, dude, like, are you smoking something? Or it's a negotiating. He's telling you, I don't want to be here.
Well, Jerry C now, so
exactly.
anything
that
he
just
does
proves
does not
it.
surprise me at this
that
point.
Proves it, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be a long year. We'll see.
He think it's sunshine rainbows outside where it's storming right now. So
he'll mortgage. What did I hear a joke? They said he'll sell the whole franchise. He'll trade everybody away for a pack of crackers or a pack of he doesn't care kind of thing. Like I could see, well, clearly how he handles deals, I could see that. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you never know. Long season, a lot of shocking things could happen. Maybe these predictions are right. Maybe other teams will step up. That's the fun of the whole season you just don't know until you actually see it unfold. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know. It could be interesting. That's going to be the best part of it. So we'll have to. So everybody sit back and enjoy and relax. And good luck to all the fans out there. Don't stress yourself, but good luck to your teams.
They definitely stressing themselves.
Yeah, right. Not Saints fans. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, I'm chilling this season. All right, we brought you by Bet Us. We got your game. Place your money on Major League Baseball, NFL preseason is going on right now. And I know a lot of people are placing bets on that. So win you some money this year with Bet Us.
Every little bit helps. You could win a whole lot. You never know. There's your Christmas shopping.
You never know.
Boom.
All right. I got the highlight of the day. First is a picture, so I gotta show y'all what y'all looking at. It is. Can y'all see that? It's a football stadium in Alaska.
Yeah. What?
And that's a crazy looking stadium.
Holy mackerel! Oh my word!
It's just like on a long landmass.
It looks like it's in the middle of an interstate. Like my gosh! Wow. Okay.
I was like, I would like to play there. Then I thought about it. It's in Alaska, so it's probably freezing. I changed my mind. I said, nah.
Never mind. No, I'm good. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I'd have the same. I'm like, it looks good, but oh wait, it's freezing cold, -3. Never mind. So
yes. So here's the video of the high school players playing on the field.
That's crazy. Wow. Look at that view. Wow.
That's amazing.
That's like arena football on a whole level.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's incredible. That's like an awesome. It's almost like playing in Hawaii. Like it's like those tropical view. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like you got the view of the water and the skies, the blue skies, man.
So my question is now,
what if it's freezing? I would play on that, but it's just cold. Well, you count me out.
My question though is it like golf? What if the football bounces into the water? Is that a foul? Is that like it take points off, or how does that work?
You have a seal that come fetches the ball.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. That makes sense.
Out there to come get it.
It is in the budget. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
Right. They employed by the high school.
There you go. They got their own team jersey.
You have the dogs to retrieve the football tees and stuff.
Yeah.
The baseball where you have the seals come in and retrieve the footballs for you.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Sign me up. I'll come for some tickets. We'll watch the game. There you go.
Oh, man. All right. That's the show. We had a great time tonight. We broke down the AFC East record prediction.
Yep.
Talked a little bit about Dallas Cowboys. Got into the Commanders a little bit. Hey, it's winding on down. We got one more week of preseason
coming up.
NFL football kickoff. Fantasy football kickoff. There's gonna be a lot of trash talking in fantasy football. So
gonna be a fun year.
Buckle up. Drafts.
Buckle up.
And do not be like this guy. I seen this video of this guy. He took B. Robson Jr. He took Brian Robinson Jr. He thought he was taking B. John Robinson. He took him number 1
Whoops.
overall.
Oh. Oh.
I was like, how you get? I get it. B Robinson.
I do.
So you thinking of B.
I
John
get,
Robinson?
yeah.
But it's Junior behind
There's a junior
Robinson.
there. Yeah.
So it's Brian Robinson Jr., not B. John Robinson. He took him number 1. He took Brian Robinson Jr. number 1 overall.
Well, you know what's
I would have been crying.
Well, you know what's hard though is some of these guys, like I know Steve Smith did it, Steve Smith Sr. and Jr. They want to honor the family. I get it, but it does make it confusing on the jersey because you don't. Who was the other one that did that? Dante Fowler Jr. and like all these
Junior. No, somebody put a senior on their back because they had a kid.
Oh, who was it? Guy with the long nameplate. Wasn't Bridgewater. Gosh, who was it? I saw that. I forget now. I'm like, wow, how much letter? Because he's got a really long name. How many letters can you fit on the back of that jersey?
He put senior. Oh, it was no, it wasn't. It wasn't Godwin.
Yeah, it was God. That's it. Yeah,
Chris Godwin wasn't. Yeah, he put senior on his
senior.
back.
That's right. Because I remember he said his son. Because the junior. And I get it. I respect it for the family. It's just I mean, it makes it confusing in the draft. It's like, oh, so and so. Senior, junior.
Yeah, as a new player,
is his dad playing? Like, what happened here? Like,
so you skip old Godwin. I don't know no Godwin senior.
I don't know that guy. Oh, that's the one I wanted. Like, oops. Oh well. Long season. It's gonna be a long year, but it'll be fun. Hope you all enjoy it. Have fun.
Also, if y'all get a chance, check out our merch shop. We got a couple of shirts in there. We got the Eagles Playmakers shirt. We have the Jalen Hurts MVP shirt. Rent is due every day. We also have the Josh Allen They Hate Greatness shirt in the merch shop too.
Nice. There you go.
Check those tees and merchandise out. And,
go for it.
Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We'll see y'all next week.
Happy Tuesday. Good night, all.
Sure.
See ya.